I'm calling the meeting to order. It's 5:33 PM, Tuesday, June 6, 2023. Claudia is here, Jody, here, Elizabeth, and June. With Rita Hickson, Mackenzie Boyer from the city of Angola. We do have a quorum. I hope everyone got a chance to read their minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Great. Old business, there is none. Okay, new business, we do have 3 requests. And they were emailed, last week, aside from one that did come yesterday due to unforeseen circumstances. I looked through, read all the applications, drove by each location this morning before I went to my office. Everything looked good. I see there's no one here to make their case. Is there any discussion? Now, should I take them one at a time?
One at a time, and then Mackenzie should present each one.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep, do you want to start with
Whichever you want to start with.
Local Hair Shop
Mm-hmm.
and pull that up, or is everybody good looking at it?
Yep, I got it.
All right. They just want to replace their windows, their storefront windows. They've just been leaking. They're not insulated well. I think they're single pane. So they would just like to replace those. That's all they're replacing. The specs are down below. The first window is 124 by 75 fixed frame. The second one is 60 by 75 fixed frame, and the third window is a 51 by 75 fixed frame. And then there is a corner post that they're also looking at changing or fixing rather. And then I think it's just the framing would be aluminum, which is what it is currently. Just basically replacing the current windows with a more sturdy, reliable window that's gonna help with costs of heating and cooling. Any other questions? Concern?
Is it the color aluminum or is it?
Windows would be a dark bronze.
Bronze
Yep.
color?
Yep.
I didn't.
Yep, it says right in the description. Commercial aluminum store windows, proposed windows would be dark bronze.
I recall the building next to it has redone their windows. They have the same.
It's the building next to it. It's all owned by Wagler, but it's the computer.
Yep, that's what it
Is that
is.
what it is now?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was,
The yoga studio.
Yes, thank you.
And then the computer shop, which I can't ask.
A something.
Yeah, they moved into that portion as well. Yeah.
But it's the same owner, so.
Yes.
Yep.
It's probably gonna do the same windows.
Yes, it is the same owner. Yep, you're correct.
That is a 1914. Don't let them think that it's. It's not that old.
all righty.
One question I had, Mackenzie, are they applying for a facade grant for this
Yes,
as
that is
well?
why we are approving it, because they are also applying for a facade grant.
Is that the case with everyone?
No, so just this one and Jenny Lou's are going for the facade grant. The last one, with Armstrong's building is just a staff approval for that awning.
I move that the certificate of appropriateness for 109 East Longview Street window replacement be approved as.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Great, motion passed.
All right, the second one is for Jenny Lou's. They are actually relocating off of Maumee over onto Gale Street. Currently, there is no signage on that building. So they would like to have a projecting sign coming above the door that's to the right of the garage door that opens. So they would just be placing that there. So there's some signage for the new building. It will look like The one pictured, obviously their logo and their name will be on it instead. That was just the example. So you could see the shape of what it would be installed.
I looked at that quickly and I was thinking of the building around the corner from Dennis Vidal. It looks a lot like.
It does
that.
look like,
Dennis,
yep,
Stephen
but it's-
County. Yeah, but
Yep,
it's
it's
the
the one-
Patterson building.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
It'd be nice to have something in there again.
I know.
So are they keeping the doors though, like the?
Yeah, they're keeping the garage doors so that they can open them during sales in the summer.
Oh.
Yep, so they'll open those up.
Oh, yeah, probably
It'll be very nice.
handy for them.
Oh, yeah, for,
plants.
yeah, for plants and things to get the sunshine. I think it's,
Well, they would
Brilliant.
to because of
Yeah.
that. So,
and maybe even getting to display them out a little bit would be nice.
Is there a motion to approve or not approve?
The only thing is the anchoring will be based on guidelines, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion that we move forward with accepting this COA application number 2060623 for approval. This is staff member or committee member Camargo.
I will
second that too.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign. Great, motion passed.
And the only thing I'll say on that, Mac, is they will need to do a sign permit with me.
Yes.
So I think that the projection probably meets
Above that door.
my requirement.
Right.
But when they fill out that permit, if there's any significant change, if I say, hey, it can't project that far, or it has to be a little bit taller or something, we'll just make sure you guys know.
The change, yeah, and
And
it's just
change
I
that.
think it's really just the anchoring
Yeah,
when it comes to signage is
Yes,
the only thing
yeah.
that pertains to our committee.
yeah.
Okay, so- And where they
So-
can anchor it in.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
as
so
long
that it
as it's
doesn't
not damage to the building,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
should be good.
Mortar.
Yep.
Yep, that was their
Okay.
plan.
So then we won't let you know unless it changes.
Yeah, cause I think the signage is.
Yeah, we'll know.
Yeah.
The last one is just a staff approval to change that awning on the back of the building at 45 South Public Square. It was a green fabric awning, and if you turn the page over, the proposed project is there, and I believe has it been installed? Because it was approved.
Not yet.
Okay.
And I think that they actually took the address off and decided to just do a plain.
I know you've been working closely with this case, Rika.
Yeah, I can't remember, either they initially presented it without an address and they decided to add it, or vice versa, but
I think it looks
it looks so much
very
better,
nice,
my
very
goodness.
nice compared to, and it's on the back of the building anyway, so
It
that's why
projects
we,
into just the
the
parking.
parking lot. Yep,
Yeah.
so it wasn't on the main street where that could be staff approved. Just so you guys are aware.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought that.
I believe she owns the front section. She does own a portion of that building. I don't know if it's the whole building or just.
They do own the building.
They own the
Is
whole
it?
building.
They own the
yeah.
whole building.
And is
Yeah.
Tom just the,
Tom
Tom's the
Armstrong is,
contractor.
he's probably the applicant name because he's the contractor.
there we go, okay.
And you don't have an owner on this particular.
Well, the owner is, it's technically that
LLC.
LLC, which is the Everages.
Yeah, they,
That's the
Case is
legal
LLC.
name.
Oh, I see.
Yep. Right.
Very nice. I would propose, we haven't done that yet.
Well, we don't
That was just a staff, yeah, that was a staff approval, just making you guys aware.
It's nice that you approve.
I'm glad.
And thank you again for specifying that where it was gonna be mounted.
Yeah, of course.
That makes a difference.
Mhm.
Yes, at least for the record of.
Yeah.
our permits.
Yep. That would be it. We would like to move on and discuss the 2023 work plans. Has anybody else continued with those?
I can't find it. I mean, I see
Okay.
that there's a blank form in the February
Mm-hmm.
packet.
Okay, yeah, because I wasn't around for that, so that would be a Jennifer
So
question.
that's a blank that I can't find it anywhere else,
Okay.
like filled in. I don't know. She
Okay.
wants us to. Yeah, I don't know. Who's assigned letter?
Okay.
I can't
We can
see
check
it.
back on those minutes to see. And if we
I mean,
need
I
to
know
fill it
there's a
in.
blank form in the February packet.
Gotcha.
That's online,
Okay,
but I might just be totally missing it. but-
alrighty. So
I
we
think
will-
we were supposed to fill them in.
Yeah, I think the work plan was for you guys to decide what you were doing and you,
But then where is it sitting? Can't sit in February, can it?
No, I think
It must
probably
be.
print it or bring it in, or
right,
And
if
then
if
it
it
was a
collate it.
proposed.
if it's a
yeah.
fillable, maybe fill it out and then email it back or something, but
Mhm.
maybe if it's easier for you, Hope, we could do a hard copy so you can
Mhm.
fill it out.
Just a hard copy for me is no good. You know, you want
Well, I mean, then it would get
everything else.
entered in the system if she's
Well,
having
nothing's in
it.
there now unless it's somewhere else.
And it's probably not, because
Have you found
nobody's
it anywhere?
probably.
I don't think we've gotten any submitted work plans, so we can't fill it out.
Or put it anywhere
Yeah.
until we have a
Yeah,
submitted
so we
one.
just-
Well, I think she thought June was working on our website. That was
I,
last week.
no, I already told, I can't build a website with no information.
Mhm,
And I don't think it would be appropriate for me to unilaterally decide
mhm.
what the commission wants on the website. You know, so
So that's-
basically I'm waiting for the information
Right.
so I can design it and, get it up.
Understand?
I mean, that's one of the tasks or the projects, we just need to implement it or
Yeah.
get a little bit closer to finish it up.
Yep. So, if you'd like, I can print out hard copies for you guys to fill out the work plan, so like what you would like to be doing
I think
this year.
I think we already, because I know I told her I was basically interested in historical education.
Yep, and but what that would look like.
Yeah,
The
so-
historical education would go on the website too.
Yeah.
I think we should have, I guess if somebody wants me to write the, outline of all the
Mhm.
pages, I guess I could do that.
Maybe
Guess I
that
could
would
put
be a
all the
good,
meetings and stuff in there too.
maybe that would be a good start, June, and then
Okay.
what buildings, like if you're thinking
Mhm.
specific areas, cause Hope probably already has research done on some of that,
Yeah.
or.
And if we
wanna
want
do-
current photos, then I'd have to have
Yeah.
a list so I can
Yeah.
get those.
And what you want photos that, yeah, I mean, I think maybe an outline would help everybody
Okay.
kind of know what to do.
I'm gonna actually turn in.
I guess I thought everybody turned their stuff in.
Yeah, no, and I think,
I'm really out of it. I don't know what's going on. I was not here and I read the minutes, but it didn't really sound like there was a lot of specific direction as to where we were going and why. And I'm honestly not really interested in just rambling around. If we have a specific plan of something that we want to do, then I'm more than willing to help. But, as far as the commission, I guess I just have a little bit of a different take on it. I feel like I'm here to do COAs and help owners get things approved and improve their buildings. And then we, we
Except I
do
think there is.
a tour once a year or so, but
There is a
I mean, we're all
historical
volunteers, so I'm not gonna take on huge projects.
Mhm.
I think that the website was specifically for, like what you just mentioned, owner education, building
Uh-huh.
education, and just getting some of that information out there so
And I
that.
think Jennifer had to check something with the city too,
And maybe
on how that would be. Oh, that was the problem, that I couldn't
already are
build it.
accessible though through the city website.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think you should have to build a whole thing. I think you
does
could
take a
just
while.
do,
Yeah.
I think simple is best. I think anybody who has a question can absolutely contact,
Mhm.
and we have the guidelines online.
I think the website was brought up, and you're absolutely right, and maybe that page on the city's website needs to be revamped. It was brought up specifically, like, how can we quickly get information
Right.
to new building
to
owners?
people.
Okay.
Could we shoot
And there
them
was a
link?
little
Could we do certain
Quandary with the
things?
Facebook
Yes.
because this is technically a city.
Yes, yes.
So I think it was more on what tool can we use to get our information out, what you.
And
need
websites are
permits
always good.
for. what you could do on your own without having to come to the HPC, what type of education, what do you want to know about your building? Maybe you're a new building owner or you're not, you've owned it for 20 years and you have no idea. Like just something that gives a little
Well,
quick, easy.
And I think that
questions.
Yeah.
it would be, a lot of people disparage the commission. They have issues they don't understand.
Right.
I've had people in my office, well, the city doesn't want businesses coming in. This all goes back to the 2020 plan that was accomplished in 2010. I vividly remember. And we got what, $10 million? One of the things that the city had to do, so they get to keep, was set up a historic preservation commission. That was one of the things that had to be done. There is no big conspiracy, and we're not all sitting around saying, let's hurt business. As tourism director, I'm sure not interested in that.
Right.
But I would like to educate people on why does the commission exist and, what does it do? Because there was a lot of misinformation with a situation a couple of years ago. And people need to realize that, the city took money and it was all predicated. You have to follow what the commission says. Nobody can override the commission. So it's just a matter of education, maybe letting people get to know us. I don't have the
Some
feeling
questions.
any of us are like, we're not business friendly, because we are.
I'm awake at night thinking, what could go in downtown? What would be cool? What would be fun? What would be interesting for people? And I love small business and I love the little town nature that we've got. So I think it's all protective and positive.
We need to communicate that.
So I think
I
that
think
was
that's
part of it, instead of flyers or things, because
Mhm.
people get them and toss them in the,
Yeah.
something that we could be like, hey,
Easily accessible.
you're a business owner, we want you, if you've got questions, go to this website and find the answer. So that was really.
And
what
make
was
it,
for.
and make it attractive. I know when I communicate it, I sound like I want to do an academic little treatise. That's not it. But something with a lot of pictures and,
Right.
and,
Informative.
this is why we have, and then people retain that.
And maybe it'd
and
be good to come up with
you
a
know.
few questions, what are the questions?
Yeah, like
And-
facts.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
those
here's the
FAQs.
answer. And
Yeah.
then maybe it would be good to maybe just have question of the month, like maybe
Oh, I like
not
that.
a
Yeah.
whole bunch,
Yeah.
but just have one or two and then one or two answers and then just say more coming next month,
Mhm.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
I just think if you overwhelm people with a document that's 30 pages. long,
Right. Yeah, nobody
They
reads.
don't want
And that's
to
kind
know.
of where the
The
city
website.
website is very
Mhm.
much the
Yeah.
logistics. So
Well, because
it has
that
to be.
has to be
Right,
done.
it has to be done. So
Um,
with this one, it would be way more user friendly.
But I just can't recall how Jennifer thought that would work with the city and
Well, let's
my
find
doing.
out.
I can't.
And not
I'll
only
check
that,
with her.
Yeah.
but I think the website idea was because when we do the tours, we don't get a lot of attraction.
Mhm.
We have trained students that come in and out every 4 years.
Mhm.
And if we want to reach out the audience, guess what? It's the internet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
True.
everything is on the internet.
Mhm.
I am not gonna hit a guy with 25 years old with a flyer and get his interest.
It's gonna
And
be like this.
I want somebody to take care of my buildings in town because that's what we're here for. So I think that's where the website
Yeah,
can
could
play
help,
that.
could be a
That kids
help.
can look and be like, oh my gosh, that building was built this year.
Like I have a
You know?
coloring book, for example, that the Tourism Bureau did during the bicentennial. I know it's still on my computer.
Mhm.
You make it a PDF, you could put that on there, maybe something to bring back kids.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I mean, we
different,
could do a coloring contest like
Correct.
that. That's to get some more engagement.
now granted, I don't understand why people don't willfully read, because I'm a big reader. But,
Right.
it's, you gotta, the pictures and the attention. And everything has a learning curve, and it's just a matter of, there's always something new coming up too.
I'm thinking more of like even virtual tours of the
Mm.
buildings.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah,
You can put on
You
the
can,
website.
you can evolve into that, there's places
Mhm.
we can't as a commission go into because obviously of ownership.
Mhm.
Maybe we hit the owner and say, hey, can you video a
Yeah.
virtual
Or
tour of
can
your
you
building?
give us the
And
tour?
provide us
Yeah.
that, and it's online.
So
Yeah.
today.
Well, what I've learned is everybody likes an idea, but when they have to implement it,
Yes.
now,
Mhm.
somebody would let us in if we said, we're gonna do the 360, which
Mhm.
I
Yep.
am able to do.
Right.
So I think for the work plan,
Yeah, and people like that too.
I think with
Throw
the,
that on the
with
website.
the work plan, it's a good idea, but I think I agree with Jody, maybe we put one task, which is the website, and we all assist as a mission
Mhm.
when bits and pieces
Right.
and help. I mean, obviously June has the expertise of the creation, but we can
Yeah.
come with the data of, hey, let's
We
try
could come
this, let's
with-
try
We
that.
could come with 2 questions.
Yeah, or the information, I mean,
Or like
these
the movie
ladies
of the
have
month,
like,
if you have to research
Just the
an
big
educational-
problem is, how does that? And I need to
Help.
discuss with Jennifer, not how does it help, I think it helped, but how does it live?
Mhm.
I was thinking a microsite, which the city's commission page would link to that.
yep,
But it would live, it wouldn't live in the city because
Yeah.
I'd be updating it, right?
Right. But we could link
So I
it easily.
think Jennifer, yeah, I think
Yep.
we were checking into
Yeah,
that. And
that's
then
good.
with microsites, you have your own address. Like I did a microsite for Steuben County Trails and the farmer's market.
Mhm.
The only time they're a problem is getting some updates. So I think one of them I need to work on a little bit again, but that's the beauty of it. You can access it 2 places and then we can look and see who's looking at this.
Right, right.
Which is good.
yeah.
And I think to Jody's point too, on like doing maybe interviews with the building owners or the business owners or
Mhm.
whatever. The thing about doing that is that those business owners want their followers to see, so they're
Yeah,
gonna share it on
yes.
their page.
And they feel part of
And
it.
then it gets more people interested, and the more you have people share that, or hey, check out this link, I'm being interviewed. It brings that that awareness of the historic downtown and what happened. So I think that the idea of all that circles around to just bring back that awareness and
Right,
education,
yes.
which is what your guys' goal is.
Right.
Yes. Excellent. This has been a really productive conversation and I think we all
Yeah, in agreement.
are
That's a
in
good idea.
agreement and we can,
Active and living small town America.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I will tell you, I have a new product that we're introducing. We did Angola last year, now it's Hamilton, but it's called an ebook. I'll send you guys a link to it. And you click through it just like it even has the sound of a page turning. And it has a virtual tour or a video embedded. It's of downtown businesses.
awesome.
So that's something else we could,
Yeah.
keep in our repertoire.
So I was walking in tonight and there were 3 people that crossed and they were on the other side of the street walking down. But I could tell they were new to town because they were looking at their phone and then they're looking over it. Oh, there's,
Oh,
and I thought, okay, so you're right. How do you reach them?
Right there.
Through
It's in
their
their pocket.
mhm.
And they're new and you can just look at them and tell and,
Mm.
because they're
on
walking
that-
around and they don't know the
Yep.
town.
Yep,
I'm working on, it's called Districts app. Have you heard of Districts app ever?
No.
So it's an app where local businesses can basically put their information of their shop on it.
Mhm.
I could definitely be putting out historical stuff with it because I have big control over it. And then the shops
Okay.
have like ownership of their own page.
Mhm.
awesome.
That's a thing we're gonna start implementing. I'm gonna start talking with businesses
But
about.
I want to
getting that
talk to
going.
you about that outside of this meeting.
Yes, absolutely. It's a wonderful.
So what'd be neat is to just have a tiny little paragraph about this building was built in such
Yep.
and such.
Yep.
And then talk to somebody like Hope who knows the history of everything and
Right,
we
and we
just
could
add a
add-
little tiny bit of
Yep.
history.
Mhm.
And did you know?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then here we are, question and answer.
Yep.
So that's,
And it's
when you're
just
talking about an
small.
app being right there.
Right,
That's-
right.
that's the
Just
same
a
idea.
small little thing, but it's intertwined.
Cause it's meant for downtowns, like main streets
Yeah.
are picking up,
I
district
think
is
that's a
partnering
great
with
idea.
main
Mhm.
streets to use this. Auburn has it, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start, I'm hoping to implement that and hopefully we could use that too.
That's
From what
awesome
you guys
news,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
So on a walking tour you have here,
Yes.
so is are you just thinking app or do you want to?
So I actually have, Kendallville gave me a book that I was gonna show you guys, and you talking about your ebook
Mhm.
might go hand in hand with this. So Kendallville did this a few years ago. Their commission put together, I mean, it's a lot of information.
Mhm.
It's too, very wordy. But they sell them as a fundraiser for $5 in local businesses.
Mhm.
That's their idea. But if we're thinking information and education, maybe we don't go the print route. We could go that ebook route.
Well,
Yeah.
you could go for something like this for a fundraiser, but then you could have I was in, maybe it was Bern somewhere, they just had a small brochure. So that when you're standing, Angola, you're pretty much seeing it all before
Yeah,
you do.
Go with that virtual scan behind the.
But if people who don't have
don't wanna
the phones or want the phones, they just have a little pamphlet
That's true.
that picks up. It just says the minimum.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, I know in South Bend, big city, but
Mhm.
they have the QR code thing and you can do a tour and you can,
Mhm.
and then it, you
That's
pull it
easy
up
to
and then it
implement.
Oh, yeah,
talks,
super
you know,
easy.
and then it
Door
talks
of
to
the
you.
businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
know,
because
get
this
your
one
tour
is,
walking
it's the
around.
historic walking tour, so it goes through, tells you each block, the people
Yeah.
that have owned it, all those things. But it could very well be implemented somehow, like you said, if they don't want the book, they can scan it,
And just.
and then it's just gonna be there.
Cause that way you're hitting both markets.
Both markets, right?
Yep.
So they can take it home and read it,
Right.
or they can,
Or their kids can scan it as
Yeah.
they're.
Well, good.
Yes,
there's an idea.
just let the kids do it.
Yeah.
Us old people will follow along.
You tell me what you found out. That's
Yeah,
what I
tell
told
me
my
what
son.
you- Yeah.
You guys kill me. Do any officers or members have reports?
Well, so I'm just gonna turn in tonight,
Mhm.
what's, some of the things I had on my computer.
Okay.
So this is the Adams Friedenberg building. It was
Okay.
built for a Studebaker showroom. So hard to believe it was built for a showroom.
Yep,
It
there it is.
was. And the Henry Block
Wonderful.
flats. So I like the historical stuff.
Mhm.
And in my own notes, I often have a lot of information about the owners
Yeah.
too, but I just don't know what exactly you want. So
Yeah,
see if that's something you're interested in.
awesome.
But the Henry is
Perfect.
very long because I have the
And if
Sandburn maps.
you would have an electronic version
Right,
of that
yeah,
too? Great.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Last year, after July 4th, we talked briefly, and now we're probably too late. Mackenzie will know more because she's good at marketing, but, or June, but we talked about how many out-of-towners were here trying to kill themselves to get across to the monument or take pictures.
What do you
from
mean? I have the
quadrant.
exact numbers. And there's not a lot of out-of-towners during the 4th of July parade
Well, there were, so not
compared
during
to
the
the other
4th of
events.
July parade, but after that week, so the week after the parade,
Mhm.
last year, Jennifer and I looked out the window and I can't tell you how many times we looked and people were trying to look at the
Rita,
monument and trying to take pictures.
I have location analytics. I can tell you all that and I can tell you
Okay, well,
how
that's
many
not
out of
like,
town and where they came from. All I
Right.
need are dates.
so the point of it is we talked about last year about possibly advertising, which now it's almost July, so we
Yeah.
forgot. Advertising like, that week, 2 or 3 different times during the day of like, hey, meet here and we'll go to the monument, get pictures,
I got
learn some history about it.
Oh.
And
uh-huh.
walk across
And then doing a
because
tour, yeah.
Do.
yeah, like almost like a little tour, but just like you want to get out there, we'll go
Safety,
as a
right.
group,
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that.
maybe
Yeah.
use a crossing guard
Mhm.
thing, get people out there and get them back a
Mhm.
couple different times. Only because, like I said,
Yeah.
we saw so many people just trying
That
to get
could
out
be-
themselves and we were like,
Right.
oh gosh, this is not good.
Yep.
So I don't know if anybody's interested in
Right.
doing that, if we set up like a couple times and somebody can walk across and talk
You
about
just-
it or.
You just threw a work plan
Yeah,
for
yeah.
2023 to
Yeah.
set something up for 2024,
Uh-huh.
Right.
4th
Yeah.
of July.
Yeah, yeah,
That would
I
be
like
It's
that.
just an idea of like, hey, 3, I don't know, whatever day it falls,
Or
like,
or cruise to the monument.
Oh, that might be a good time.
Yeah, because the road's closed.
they can get out
They
there.
And they
do
can
that.
get out there
This
and-
was
Yeah, they
just
do it anyway.
during that week because you could always see people walking
Right.
downtown and trying to get out there.
Like
I like
family
the
members coming
idea.
over to visit.
Yeah.
Right.
Of the cruising, because then somebody could be there and at this time, and this
Right.
time, meet me at the monument for a brief history.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't, people didn't wanna do it.
No, they don't
They
wanna
just
do
wanna walk
it.
around, look at cars. No, but I know what you mean about the 4th of July because it's, the whole world is on vacation. There's no sports going on, no high school kids, so everybody's on vacation, so they're, looking.
Right,
for
and a lot
something
of
to
times they
do.
can do it if they get here during the parade, but it was like always that week after that you would see
Right.
so many
There's still a
people
lot of- yeah.
downtown
Yeah.
and they're just like, hey,
Consider
if we
doing
could
it
advertise it. in
Let
the
me
weekend.
let me run those numbers though and see.
to see when our
But I do
invoices are.
think that's the
Yeah.
busiest week everywhere.
Because I'm wondering, since the 4th is on a Tuesday, could you do it the weekend after?
Well, and we were talking about, we could do it on a weekend, or we were talking about, hey, at 1 o'clock on Wednesday and
Mhm.
2 o'clock
Yeah.
on Thursday.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll walk you out
Throughout the
there.
week, yeah.
Why don't you, after the parade, downtown is dead. It
Mhm.
really is.
Everybody goes to Commons.
So at the parade, why couldn't they just announce, what is the parade, 11 o'clock?
Starts at 11 a.m.
And whenever you, like a half an hour when you think things have cleared up, just saying, if people want to go over to the mom, we will escort you at, 12:30 or something.
You could do that,
And then
I
we'll do
think.
that every day this week and then just have a
Yeah.
big day.
You could just make an announcement. Yeah, that's true.
You can just announce it at the parade.
Yeah, every day at 12:30 this week.
Well, you
We'll
can
take the
announce it
ride
at the
over.
parade, but I don't think anybody. can
Nobody
ever hear
hears it.
now.
Well, we are, hey,
Only if you're in the
didn't we get
quadrant.
new sound?
Yeah, but it
Did we?
still is like.
So that
it's
might
in the
help.
Quadrants, but
Yeah, but I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But hey, we jump on the radio
I mean,
and
it's a
Well,
thought, but
yeah.
maybe like Claudia said, for 2024,
Yeah.
it's something that we do every day, 12:30 that week.
And
And
we
any
could
visitor that wants
rotate
to come.
members, as we're available to do the.
And we could get
runs.
the crossing guard sticks and a vest, so whoever's walking out there could get them
Yeah.
across safely. They could walk, take their pictures, do
Do
their
you
thing.
have any history of it?
Oh, yeah.
That we, so whoever.
I got that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if there's someone standing there and people have questions, it would be a nice time to say, here's the history.
Yeah.
If you're interested, if they're not, that's fine, but
Yeah.
if somebody has questions.
I think
mean,
a lot
you
of
go
people would be
places-
interested.
I go places sometimes and there's a docent standing there,
Mhm.
but they're not necessarily forcing themselves on people. They're just available.
Yep.
Like my grandkids will be here on the 4th of July. They're little. And they would probably like to go over to the mound because a great, his name is up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll care about history except maybe to say what the date.
Well, what else you can do too, once you get electronic is you have a nice little card with the QR code that leads to the history.
Like
So-
take a picture across the
And having
street.
those old pictures of how the ground was back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
And
It's
when they're
so
taking their
cool.
pictures, show them that,
Yeah.
For sure. That
I
was
mean,
good.
we
Yeah.
could make the crossing the street easy and
Yes,
safe. We
make
could do
crossing the
that
street.
easy.
I say now, we're getting a pretty concrete work plan. It's just a
Yes.
matter of writing
Now
it down now.
Implementing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then really advertising it for next year.
I think 2024 to be safe.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think,
good with
just
that.
not to rush
Yeah.
things over to
Could
the
do it
commission.
this year, just taking people across the street, it would be a nice gesture. Well, that's
Yeah.
a nice gesture.
It would just be getting the word out, because I think, quite frankly, a lot of Lake people during that week, they have family in town, they'll come downtown just to do shopping or whatever, and we'll see them periodically, eat lunch, and they don't come that often, but they'll come a little bit, and I think if we said, like somebody said, hey, every day this week at 12:30, this is what
Yeah.
we're doing,
Yeah,
they may
I
try to
think
hit,
that
or
would be
2 o'clock, they can eat lunch and then,
At 12:30 or.
right, whatever.
I think that's a great
Eat your
thing
lunch and walk
for
across
downtown
and-
I mean, we could
businesses.
get
And have those
Yeah.
pictures, like I said, show where the horse buggies were and be like, that's
And there
where
was
they
no
were.
mound.
Yes, exactly.
It
But
was
having
just
those
a
pictures there
circle
would be
Before the
great.
monument.
So somebody
feel
can
pretty
champion that, and that can be your work plan, but the city would definitely help with vests
Okay.
and the
Yeah.
crossing guard
Right.
thing and whatever.
As a garden club person.
I didn't volunteer for this year's
Right, no,
Belgian
I
Arts,
understand.
that's why
Yeah,
I.
luckily you guys do it so early though. Traffic.
No, I love that
It's a little bit
idea.
later, but
And I wanted to mention too that Jennifer had brought up the courthouse and we should be doing some research. I started some, I have some notes. But Jennifer took a class last week online that talks about different financing options and repurposing. So I just want you guys that's gonna be real helpful. Kim's not here, so he has no report.
Right.
Staff?
All right, so you've seen working with 109 East Maumee on the facade grant for Rocco Hair Salon. So we went through that. Still working on the brick maintenance plan. I spoke with Amanda Cope on next steps, and she said that she would be checking in with the contractor. The bricks just, they're crumbling.
The pavers
and
downtown,
Yeah, the
yeah.
pavers around downtown. We're thinking it's mostly because of the salt that businesses are
Yeah.
using.
Mhm.
But there hasn't really been anything since our last meeting. Just kind of filling you in a little bit on what we missed, but as soon as we get more information on that, there might be some construction happening to pull up some of those bad bricks and replacing them. And then hopefully we're gonna have some sort of educational plan for the downtown businesses so that, or
Awesome.
some way to get them the appropriate salt so they're not ruining what we just fixed.
Okay.
So that's in the works. Replacing the awning, we've been working with Tom Armstrong on that. There's an opportunity for a grant through preserving Main Street.
Is
through
that the
Main
$2
Street.
million?
Yes, the big one.
Yeah, I read that. Mhm.
So it awards $2 million to communities through Okra, Indiana Landmarks, and Indiana Humanities. A big piece of it with Angola Main Street is the historic preservation. That is a very huge initiative. So we are looking at possibly, if you guys think it's a good idea, coming up with a preservation plan for Fox Lake, and that being part of what the grant would implement on some sort of partnership with the Historic Commission, Angola Main Street, to work on.
They have some type of preservation committee out there on
Yeah,
Fox
they have
Lake.
two different
Are they two different?
historic preservation committees
my
out
goodness,
on
okay.
Fox Lake.
Okay, so I don't know if we want to work in collaboration to maybe come up with a plan of, because
I can get you a
that's
contact.
been,
I've got her number.
do you have those, possibly working on that so that they look at historic preservation greatly for this grant.
Yeah.
So somehow us partnering, but I mean, some of these other initiatives that we're coming up with could also go along with that grant. So looking at that partnership, potentially, that needs to be submitted, by July 31st. So I have till July 31st to get all of that information in. But if we have a piece, I think that would help the preservation aspect of that grant. So think
I'll get you
on,
a contact for Fox
Fox
Lake
Lake.
Historic,
okay,
one
So-
of their associations.
because I think us working with them would be kind of a cool thing. That partnership, because there's so much history out there
Mhm.
on Fox Lake, so,
And even if it's not part of our historical district, we can
right,
still be
right,
in collaboration with them.
yeah.
Okay,
yep,
Yep,
support
that's
that.
awesome.
Because it's an Okra, it's an Indiana Landmarks,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not just a Main Street
Yep.
grant, so I think it would be kind of cool to show the collaboration and everybody kind of pitching in to
Oh,
to do something out there. Right, so I think something to think on, if you have any
Wow.
fun ideas, but I think $2 million to help our community. Kendallville got it last year, and they've done,
Colleen Everidge wrote that. Let me see if she won't give me
okay,
what she wrote last year.
okay.
See if any of it's
Applicable.
viable.
Absolutely, that would be very helpful. Other than that, I think we've just got, there's a mural on 45 South Public Square, potential project. Do you have more information on that? Just the application?
I don't have anything yet, but I know that
No,
it's being
it's
discussed and
discussed.
possibly a grant was applied for.
That,
Oh, no, there's no possible about it. I got his call from the state.
okay.
But that,
So we don't have
We
any
don't have any information
yet.
to us yet. So there's a potential mural that we will have to be looking at and.
Let me check into that
Discussing.
application.
Okay,
Maybe I can get it from the state, but
that would be helpful.
yeah.
she
June's on it.
mentioned that in February.
I talked to JB about that.
Okay,
Let me,
all right, June's on it.
But she knows that you can't put a mural.
it was $10,000.
Yes, and I think they're discussing how they could do it.
Mounting.
Yes, mounting, that kind of thing. I think that's, I'm assuming.
Without having the information.
Without having the,
You can't
yeah,
even-
we
you
can't
can't
even
even
really
support
discuss
your
it.
comment,
Yes,
The way she
yes.
was talking, it didn't sound like.
Okay.
I mean,
She
technically you
realized-
can. Other communities do it all the time, so
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
you can't. You
No,
can.
Our guidelines are, you can't. It's in our guidelines that you cannot paint an unpainted brick. And when you go down like to Wabash or something, you don't know that it hasn't already been painted.
Right.
Like the side of.
But Wabash, every community around is doing it.
Auburn's really. got
Auburn,
all the
Garrett,
Mhm.
Kendallville has got some
Oh,
beautiful
Kendall's got some
murals.
amazing girls.
Priscilla has a great mural. They're all doing it.
Yeah.
But when you look at that, you don't know that it hasn't already been painted.
Well,
Once
most
it's
of them
painted,
do.
yeah. And it's not, and that's a little bit, it's not suggested. It's not in the guidelines, so. But you
You
can
have to
mount
be
something.
careful about the main roadways that it faces too. I mean, that would.
'Cause that one would face into the courtyard.
It is a courtyard, which would face into the new courthouse.
House.
And I think we have to take that into consideration and careful.
And the good thing is nothing's been presented, so.
Right,
we'll-
Right, there is nothing to really,
We'll,
so,
we'll wait till it's
No,
presented
don't.
and then we'll discuss it
Yeah,
and
but
review
that's-
it.
potential projects.
Yep.
So there's that
It-
one,
It might happen,
it might
not.
happen,
Thank you for the.
I mean, the
heads up.
grant was awarded.
right. Yeah, but there's been no approval, no
Mhm.
discussion.
And that gives us time to look at the guidelines a little bit better
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
commission, so.
So that is a
That is the
potential
guidelines,
project.
But it was kind of disturbing to me for someone to put in a lot of plan into something without the guidelines being cleared
Mhm.
to begin with, before you're spending all this money on a plan. You need to know what you can actually do. And I don't think that, I'm not sure that was explained to her. You can actually let Jennifer, but that wasn't my job, so.
But other than that, I think all the other potential projects have been listed and discussed previously. But that's all I had.
Excellent.
Thank you, yeah.
Anything else?
I just gotta mention this, does anyone ever go to Marshall, Michigan?
Yeah, I love Marshall.
So-
Beautiful downtown.
Right, and have you ever noticed, and this would not be an expensive thing, and I love it, on one of their lamp posts.
Mhm.
It's two-sided, it's not that tall, two-sided, this big oval, and it's just a line of the street and the buildings.
Oh, really?
And when they were created.
Like a timeline?
Timeline of,
Right there, it's, I don't even think they're pictures, it's just, and I'm like, well,
Did you
that's-
take a picture?
I do have a picture somewhere on my phone, I don't.
you'll have to send
I'll send out the picture.
Yeah.
mass email.
But it's like pretty easy.
But there
Yeah.
there are things they're doing downtown Marshall.
Yeah,
And it's
Marshall's always
gorgeous.
loved
It's a
their own
gorgeous,
history.
yeah, it's beautiful. And their kind of roundabout is at the end
Yeah.
of their main street. So you kind of, that's like your end point. It's really pretty. Just had a dance recital there, so yeah, it was just. All right, other than that, I've got nothing else for you guys.
Yeah, these chairs are difficult.
All
All right, then, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Oh, go
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Great.
ahead.
Second,
I was second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign?
So our
Meeting
next
adjourned.
meeting I noticed is July 5th.
Yes, we didn't even discuss that. Oh my God, yes.
So we,
Well, wait a minute, there's a problem because there's another meeting scheduled for the same day.
right. So I
Same
was
evening.
wondering if we just, for now, postpone it. And we just don't do a July meeting. And then
I'm flexible.
if there is some sort of,
Anything.
application, then we can decide what to
Yeah.
reschedule. But as of now, I think it's just best that we postpone
Okay.
and we
Works
will.
for me.
Well, Mackenzie, I wasn't here last month, but with what I'm seeing this month, great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
And
that.
welcome to
Yeah, very
the,
good.
to the team.
Thanks.